Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Insight Elections. Today is Sunday, January 4th, 2026, and today we're going to be talking about how Louisiana Republicans failed to gerrymander the state, and Democrats scored a major win in this case. So, on January 2nd, 2026, actually, I guess you could say this happened on New Year's Day. Louisiana's the, the news is that Louisiana's current election map will stay. It will not change. Republicans cannot gerrymander this map. So what happened is earlier this year in October 2025, Republican state lawmakers convened and petitioned the Supreme Court and opened a Supreme Court case to allow them to redraw Louisiana. Here, let me show you the current Louisiana map. The Louisiana map is relatively fair. Democrats have almost equal representation based on their percentage of the vote in the state. Not quite, they're still underrepresented, but Republicans are trying to eliminate their 33%, 34%, 34% representation in the state to make it zero. You see, both of these districts, these two Democratic districts, were court ordered. Republicans did not choose to draw these districts. They were court ordered because they are black majority districts. This Louisiana is a state where I believe it's near over half of the population, or over a third of the population, something like that, is black, and black voters tend to lean Democratic. Republicans are trying to redraw these districts so that they're not majority black districts, so that Democrats and black voters in the state of Louisiana will not have representation. However, that failed. Since they petitioned the Supreme Court to rule in their favor. However, the Supreme Court has not ruled. They haven't not ruled in their favor, but they also haven't ruled in their favor, which means that the deadline has passed. The deadline was the end of 2025. Republicans cannot redraw Louisiana, even if now the Supreme Court is expected to hand down a ruling this spring. Even if that ruling is in favor of the Republicans, saying that they are allowed to gerrymander the Louisiana map, it's too late. That deadline has passed. Republicans cannot gerrymander Louisiana ahead of 2026. Now, this comes after a few months ago. This was not sure. Louisiana's black voting power is on the line in a redistricting fight. This article was from October 15th, 2025, and this is when the future was not certain. This is when Republican lawmakers petitioned the Supreme Court to rule in their favor to eliminate these majority black districts, and the fate was unknown. But now we know. The Supreme Court has not ruled on this case, and if they do rule in the Republicans' favor, they cannot implement new maps until 2028. So they're safe for 2026. And the thing about this case, in my opinion, is not that it's just about Louisiana. If Republicans had succeeded in this case, Republicans would not have stopped in Louisiana. There's so many states in the South with majority black districts and populations who are not represented. Go back, let's see, like just 2 years ago in the midterms, Alabama. I think it's Alabama's second. Yeah, Alabama second is a majority black district. However, Republicans gerrymandered it so that these black voters do not have representation, and the maps were court ordered ahead of 2024 to where this district would be a black majority, to give black voters an equal representation in the state of Alabama. And should Republicans have succeeded in the state of Louisiana, states like Alabama would have not been legally allowed to, but would have been given, not given, how do I word this? They would have tried to move forward. Republicans in Alabama would have seen that, wait, Louisiana Republicans gerrymander their state, so let's go gerrymander our state. And wouldn't have stopped in Alabama. Would have this majority black district in Mississippi, which is a Democratic district, the Mississippi Republicans would have gone after it to gerrymander it. And Georgia, they would have gone after Georgia's second. They would have gone after South Carolina's sixth. They would have gone after, I believe Tennessee's ninth is a majority black district. I think so. I know this is Memphis. I'm not sure, but I believe, don't take my word for it, but I believe it's a majority black district. Republicans would have gerrymandered all of these states in the South to undercut black representation. we can look. The current state of the redistricting war is Democrats have 5 districts in California, 1 in Utah. Republicans have 5 in Texas. Whoops. 2, 3, 4, 5 in Texas, 1 in Missouri, and 1 in North Carolina. If they would have succeeded, they would have gotten 1 in Louisiana, 2 in Louisiana, 1 in Mississippi, 2 in Alabama, 1 in Georgia, 1 in South Carolina, possibly some more in Texas, and possibly some more in Florida. Also, possibly this district in Tennessee. Democrats wouldn't have even been close. And the more, if Republicans are given permission to eliminate these black districts, these black representation in the South, Democrats would have no chance of winning the House. They would have no chance of winning it back if Republicans could eliminate black representation. Which is why this is so profound. Not, you might say, well, how is this breaking news? Nothing is changing. The news is that nothing is changing. Republicans are failing to gerrymander. They're failing to undercut representation of a large majority of this country. So, even if this actually happened ahead of, say, 2028, or if the Supreme Court does rule against the Voting Rights Act and eliminates the necessity for black representation in these states, even if Democrats gerrymandered as much as they possibly could, they could have, even if they wanted to gerrymander 4 seats out of Virginia, if they succeeded to gerrymander Maryland, if they succeeded to gerrymander further Illinois, it wouldn't even come close to the amount of seats that Republicans could have gerrymandered away from Democrats and away from black voters, which is why this case is just so profound. And yeah, that's, how long has it been? Okay, that is about me wrapping up this analysis. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's good that Republicans failed to gerrymander and undercut black representation in the state of Louisiana, and for that matter, throughout all of the South? What are your opinions? If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like it, subscribe, and comment any suggestions. I've made videos based on comment suggestions. If you have any suggestions, I will make a video on it of what you want me to make a video on. Just let me know, and yeah, have a great day.